This is what the M91 is missing, a victory hand or two to complement the design cues taken from the Victory 2 Gundam, on top of the many other V shapes that were embedded in the design. What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai high-grade Gundam M91 from Gundam Build Fighters Amazing Ready. But before I begin, this review won't have been possible without Hobby Clubhouse lending me this kit for review, so a huge shout out and thank you to Hobby Clubhouse for that contribution. Check him out if you haven't. He makes quality reviews inside and outside of Gundam, and tell him I sent you when you're there. But with that out of the way, let's get into the review. So for the reasonable price of 80 to 90 or beyond US dollars for one of these things on Amazon, irony of course, what you will get is what you see right here without any of the stickers, because I have to play by his rules. So I'm sorry, but that's how it is. The silhouette does look pretty good. Like, in my opinion, this is what we need more from Build series. Not original designs, but admittedly some would disagree because the core Gundam is amazing. And not designs that don't add anything to the original design, like the Gundam Justice Knight. This is what we need more. Something that evokes the aura of the original kit that it's based on, but with more originality and flair. Case in point, the Gundam M91. Now the V-fin itself, I'm not really too big of a fan of it because it is way too large for my tastes, but it does complement the V theme that they have implemented into this kit right here. So for example, the collar over here is basically a V, and the wings over here are basically a V, and the Vespers can be a V if you arrange them in a specific way. And if the wings remind you of something, wonder no more, because this kit is a combination of the F91 Imagine and the Victory 2 Gundam Imagine Full Burnier. So if the wings remind you of the Victory Gundam 2,
you're goddamn right.
And the colors themselves, they do evoke the Mackenzie theme because of the red and white, but the one thing I'm not really too big of a fan of is the maroon over here. To me, this is an accent color, so I think more of the body needs to have that maroon in order to justify this thing's appearance. Even in the sticker sheet, there aren't any pieces that are maroon, so it feels kind of like abrupt to have the maroon on the feet. In my opinion, the chin on the head, the crotch jewel over here, and the tips of the shoulders could have been maroon to further complement the maroon on the feet. But this thing, right out of the box with no stickers applied, does look good to the uninitiated. But what if you are initiated? Well, you're going to be in for a treat, because you are going to have a sticker sheet that is almost the size of an A6 paper, which is basically A4 paper folded twice along the edges. So that's quite a large sticker sheet, and I won't be covering anything that is on the accessories so far because I will get to that when I get to the accessories. So in terms of the body, going from the numbers, the number 2 stickers, the triangles, are for the rear vents on the legs. The number 3 slabs over here are for the top tips of the wings over here. The number 4 and 5 are for the back and the front camera respectively. Number 6 and 7 are obviously for the sides of the Vespers. Number 8 is for the rims on the top of the knees. Number 10 through 15 are for the front skirts over here. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are for these edges of the front skirts. Number 16 and 17 are for the rims on the top of the booster gauntlet. Number 18 is for the scopes of the Vespers. Number 19 is for the tip tops of the knee armor. Number 20 is for the eyes for both faces. Number 21 is for the white tips of the chest. Number 22 is for the edges of the shoulders. Number 23 for the insignia on the chest. 24 and 25 are for the insides of the chest over here, but you can frankly go with a gunmetal Gundam marker and just paint those in. And number 26 and 27s are for the front skirts on the top. So quite a bit of stickers, but realistically, this thing is an ambitious design. So for on the budget of a high grade, complete color separation is impossible. But if I weren't so stringent, I would have appreciated all the stickers going on all the color details instead of having little stickers with a lot of missing details. So in my opinion, the stickers are excusable to a degree. So overall, this kit, silhouette looks nice, V-fin not my taste, but it complements the overall theme, and the stickers are excusable. But the one thing I don't really like about it is the maroon on the feet. Articulation and handling wise, the head is of course on the double ball joint because the F91 is designed with the all Gundam project, so rotation is possible, but beware of the V fins colliding with the V's on the back, and of course chicken X possible up really far, but the helmet is a little bit loose. Go down, side to side, no problem. The arms are using the polycaps that normally go into the chest, but they can still rotate until the shoulder design collides with the wings. They can of course go out pretty far, coupled with the arm. Of course the booster gauntlet is not going to help much, and because it's integrated, can't really take that off without it looking pretty weird. So the arms over here can go out basically perpendicular to the body. They can rotate above the elbow and bend at the elbow at 2 joints, which is pretty nice. And of course the wrists are ball jointed and very tight in the socket. You can pull them out to have a little bit more wiggle. And there goes the helmet. The torso over here is on a double ball joint. You can do some crunches, very minute, and you can do some rotation, basically the full rotation if you are careful with it. Front skirts are large, so they can't really move out of the way too much. The Vespers are the side skirts, and they go into the same polycap, so of course they can move up and down, and you can swivel the joint at the polycap or the Vespers themselves. But as you can see, one of them has fell off already, so they are pretty loose, so I would recommend fortification when you get this kit. The baskets are usual a block. Now the legs over here are on universal standard, so there goes the face, and you can do the funky dance, but it is, as per usual for earlier all Gundam project kits, it's very hard to move. So the legs can go forwards like that, backwards not that much, outwards pretty much all the way. Rotation at the hip, double jointed knee, which is pretty nice. The fins on the back of the legs can open up with a tab and open up just like so. And there goes the other Vesper, and the feet can go forwards and back, side to side, rotate. The ankle armor is jointed at the back, so you can get them to bob about a little bit. And the wings over here, they can open up just like so. And because they're on the original Vesper joints, exercise caution while moving them, and you can obviously swing them to the same degree as the original Vespers. And these things do have a polycap joint inside of them, so they can move to a limited degree and of course rotate. So that's about it for the articulation on the Gundam M91. So albeit this kit has pretty good articulation, well basically the same as the F91 because of the joints, this thing is pretty hard to handle, so I would recommend fortification for those pieces that are in need. Accessories, let's start off with what's on the body first. First of all, you do have the Vespers over here, the same ones as the M91. You do also have a joint that you can swivel it, and because it is unimpeded, you can do the full 180 swing. The Vespers themselves, they can extend the handle like so, and check out the pose in the end because this thing can hold the Vespers with no problem. But holding the Vespers becomes a little bit of a problem when you deploy the wing Vespers. Yes, these things to open up 90 degrees, swing them forward, beware of collisions, adjust the wings accordingly, and be careful to not break the joint because I broke mine on the F91. And here you have it. Imagine, okay? And it does kind of give me like a Kasi Gundam vibe because of the beam cannons on the tips of where there should not be beam cannons. For the Kasi Gundam is the shoulder armor, for the M91 it's the bottom part of the wings. So yeah, you do get 4 Vespers in total at the end of the day. So that's quite a lot of firepower and quite a lot of heat you need to radiate. Which brings us to the extra face that this thing comes with. So yeah, this thing does come with an extra face with a little bit of detail if the camera can focus on it. Unfortunately, because of the lack of panel lining, it's kind of hard to bring it out. But here is a photo of the face with the eyes and on the Gundam. So to swap it out, it's basically just to remove the helmet, which is loose enough already, and sticking this one back into the helmet while you stick the exchanged head onto the ball joint, just like that. Very simple. And the last of the integrated accessories, the booster gauntlet. So you do have the Vulcan cannon details over here and the thruster details on the back, but it's just there to be there. These prongs over here, in my opinion, could have been cut out and it will not affect the functionality too much, but I guess we have to deal with what is there, and if you fully detail it up, it's going to be a pretty good looking gauntlet. And let's move on to the handheld accessories. First of all, we do have the standard beam rifle over here being held by the left trigger finger hand, and you of course do get a right one from the F91 just in case you want this thing to be a righty when it comes to gun holding. So the trigger finger fits snugly inside of the trigger socket and it holds on pretty well. The colors are all made up by plastic, and of course there should be a sticker for the skull. So you just swap out the hands after you sandwich the gun in there, and here you have it. It feels kind of out of place for a Regal design, but I'm not judging. And then finally we have the signature M Lance over here, which is basically the bazooka of the F91 retrofitted with parts to make it a lance. It doesn't fire anymore, so the E-Pack is kind of pointless, but I'll take it. And of course the insignia, whatever the engravings over here, is an entire sticker, but I guess it is justifiable in real world situations because the lance head is taken from a figurine. Realistically, figurines will have pre-painted parts, so it may as well have been all white initially, so I guess that really makes sense. So you can just stick the handle into the hand like so, and because it does have the leftover joint for the bazooka handle, it can shift up and down. And with the secondary handle over here, you can get the M91 to hold it in two hands. Just like so, albeit a little bit stupidly. Moreover, the tip over here can also rotate in case you want to adjust the location of the little shield that is mounted onto the lance. And one more thing, this accessory can be stored on the back with the adapter that is included for the bazooka in the F91 kit. So the peg is still right here, so what I like to do is to rotate the insignia towards the outside and then just plug them in. So the M Lance can be stored just in case you want to use every other weapon. So that's gonna wrap it up for the accessories on the Gundam M91. In terms of comparisons, first of all, let's bring in the F91. So they are of similar height profile despite the instructions saying that the M91 is 18.4 meters, which can almost immediately be denied when you place it against the original Gundam. It's still petite looking when compared to the original Gundam. And finally, let's bring in his rival, the Gundam Amazing Exia. In terms of leftover parts, you do have the front of the head and the two faces of the F91, including the head jewel. You have the shoulders, side skirts, front skirts, and cross jewel, the knee pads, original ankle joints and ankle armor, and you have the beam shield generators extended and retracted, and you do have the original bits for the bazooka. Finally, the heat radiator fins over here retracted and extended, and of course the beam sabers over here. You don't get enough to completely build the original F91 in the Mackenzie colors because unfortunately you don't have an extra V-fin. So that's gonna wrap it up for my review on the Gundam M91, and apart from the praise that I have for the engineering, there are 4 points I would like to cover. First of all, the color separation is poor but understandable. Now admittedly, some of the larger pieces of stickers could have gone for plastic pieces, for example the larger ones on the front skirts, the Vespers, and the tops of the wings, but you could not expect Bandai to fully color separate this kit in plastic on a high grades budget unless you want the price to be sky high right out of the gate, excluding second-hand sellers. Second of all, I really do like to praise the V theme because this thing, standing up to the victory, has a lot of V's in its design, and it does allow for the design to be way more refreshing to look at and feel, on top of feeling the original aura from the F91. Third of all, I really do like the added Vespers on the wings and the shifting of the original Vespers onto the waist. Sure, they need some make-believe, but hey, we have the C on them to match up to it in terms of peculiar barrel placement. And of course the M Lance is worth a mention because they're using completely original parts from their original universe, and retrofitting them onto the bazooka makes for a very good concept, well executed. And the worst aspect about this kit, it's an extinct P-Bandai, because we have never seen another rerun of this and the Tall Strike Gundam Glitter apart from the 2 runs that they did for the initial release and the one and only rerun in the past. That's why the one that is in the local model shops goes for about 520 Hong Kong dollars, and even more when you try to buy it from any reseller online. So even though I'm going to give this thing a 7.5 out of 10 for the uniqueness and overall good looks, it's still not going to be worth it if you're going to be buying it for that much. I might as well you guys go for a master grade or even a perfect grade for that matter. But still, if you somehow find this for a reasonable price, whatever that is nowadays for extinct P-Bandais, go ahead. I will absolutely recommend you to do so if you do like the M91 design. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Still, a big shout out and thank you to Hobby Clubhouse for this review. Turn on notifications for future content alerts if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video.